Hey Puppy Trades! I want to do a video analysis update on really one sector that I think could play follow the leader. So we're going to talk about a pretty common thing that happens on this page. I completely smoke a stock out of the water by being the best Elliott wave theorist, the best technical analyst, and the best quantitative analyst in the world. So that happened with TeraWolf. We saw institutions raising their strike prices on their straddles. They've been buying the 2 strike straddle, then they were buying the 2.5 strike straddle, just raising it up within this rally. I said this was a wave 1 and a wave 2. I was looking for a 1.82 to hold, and that even from this low, this to be 1-2, yes, another 1-2, and yes, another 1-2, a quadruple nest. Now that is usually dismissed as Elliott wave jargon and vernacular, but here we go, this explosive, and even within the nature of wave 3, very strong and rapid movement. So we did get to the 161.8% extension. Just to update the wider targets for TeraWolf, I think this next target is the 161.8% extension, which is 6.21. And I also said that based on Elliott wave, this can be a wave 4. We might go past 6.21, but the idea is that for these higher targets, we can have a wave 4 that typically retests the wave 1 high, and then wave 5 is usually at least the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low. So I know what I have here takes it to 8. Usually what I do for the shorthand, I just take the length of wave 1 and I place it at the wave 1 high. That's going to be kind of the quick hand way to get it, and 7.50 is that nice round number for that level. So more than focusing on TeraWolf, I think that there's an opportunity for some of these stocks to play catch up and follow the leader. One of them that I'm long is BTBT Digital. It's an emerging Bitcoin mining company, formerly known as Golden Bull Limited. So that's fun. It's based in New York. So looking at Bit Digital, it had a pretty extremely nice day. I bought the 2 strike call for January of 2025 on Bit Digital when it was at 2.14, and I bought that for $114 per contract. So we're gonna look at Bit Digital right now. It's also had this explosive day. So now that the theme of this sector-wide rally is starting to shape up, looking at Bit Digital, 5.27 looks like that's the high. This low is 0.53. So we see these wide swings in these stocks where they can go from pennies to $5 in a matter of months, a year. And so that's where it's always important to remember these extremely higher beta sectors, especially Bitcoin mining. They are very wise, savvy market participants are going to treat them much differently, even when forecasting, but especially for position size and portfolio management and stuff like that, than more value-backed, lower beta stocks, less volatility, and that can always be seen by looking at the implied volatility, which we're going to do with Marathon Patent Group. So I believe from this low, there are 2 ways to look at Bit Digital. And I always want to give a shout out to the purist. I'm not the czar of wave counts. Not everything that I say is, the law. 1.95, 1.96. So it looks like this is the low, 1.95. Now, I'll show you guys what I think. This is 1, 2, and then this is the real kicker. Highest high within wave 3. Shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 higher. So I do think that's the correct answer. What some wave theorists would do is they think that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, and they're going to call this an expanded flat. I don't think that's inaccurate. I think that my way is simpler and just as accurate. It's kind of like how two mathematicians can use different way to solve the equation. Even around the world, there's completely different ways in Japan that they do math than we do in America. But this is the expanded flat count I wanted to show because I don't think it would be wrong. It's a very similar. It's actually the exact same answer. So I think that's a pretty cool aspect of this chart. We see 5 waves up. The the purists are going to say this is a ABC expanded flat, and then from this low, wave 1, it's probably not the same degree as that small black wave 1, but I'm going to keep it the same in wave 2 form. So I'm going to keep holding bit digital. I'm going to tell you guys how long I'm going to keep holding bit digital. It might surprise you. I actually don't think that's the, I'll give the purist their target. The length of wave 1, place of the wave 2 low, can take bit digital up to 5.96 in the expanded flat count. So that's important to know. What's another way that the purists were going to find their targets? Well, they're going to use these extensions. Wave 1 is the connector, and they're going to connect it to wave 2. And that's going to give their wave 3 target. So we see that 100% extension is going to be the same. It's just placing the line there. 7.20 is going to be a good target too. So they can get all the way up to 7.20, even up all the way to 8 in the expanded flat count. Anyway, back to what I think is more accurate. I think this is wave 1. This is an ABC correction that takes place very quickly. And that this is the subdivision right here. And I'm doing that based on the highest high being within wave 3 on the RSI. So for this wave 2 to be invalidated is 2.37, pretty wide. I'm going to keep holding bit digital. My targets, I think that 7 to 8, that's a pretty good range. It's a pretty good range. The length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low is 6.57. So that's a pretty big gain. If I got all the way to 6.57, I'd make roughly $500, $600 a contract. I think though that there's a few reasons I'm going to hold possibly beyond that. Let's look at the 161.8% extension just of wave 1. It's 8.20. Yeah, it's 8.20. So that's a pretty good target. If bit digital explodes up to 8.20, I'll probably sell there. Now, if it goes 3, 4, and 5 like this, wave 4 could be real short. I've got Coinbase, MicroStrategy, YBTC, and YBITs collecting lots of premium from Bitcoin. So I can handle and afford to hold BTBT through this low because I'm through this consolidation for wave 4 because I'm collecting all this premium through ETFs without assignment risk or margin. The length of wave 1, place at the wave 4 low, can give a shorthand target that is just right up there at 10, 10.04. But 10 is that big round number. I think bit digital can go all the way to 10. Isn't that crazy? 6, 7, and 8 is going to be, there's probably going to be a consolidation period before that. So, I'll have a decision to make. 6.57, get close to 8. Yeah, I'll probably sell a little before 10. But yeah, bit digital could go all the way to 10. Isn't that nuts? Isn't that kind of crazy? Because if we look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin's gone on quite a rally. And this is going to be a place where a lot of people, especially those who make, YouTube videos and talk about the stock market, they're going to be afraid to, be saying things like, hey, bit digital can go to 10 from 6.40 on a 40% day, 50% day. Not me. Because I'm long. I'm in this. This is real analysis for what I'm going to do. It's not like I'm telling you guys what I think the weather's going to be because, I have a vested interest. This is my analysis. It needs to be good. I don't really care what people who are selling Discords and, to be honest, even watching the YouTube video think. That's why I'm not really the best influencer, because this analysis and really a lot of what I post, it's not. It's really for the purpose of the same reason baseball players and football coaches and basketball coaches have and even acting coaches have their students watch film, their players watch film. It's no different than that. This is just to refine my own analysis, and if people enjoy watching it, that's great. I do consider myself the best Elliott wave theorist, the best technical analyst, and really the best person at predicting market movements, just drawing large lines and the market cap moves of a lot of the things that I draw with, these stocks. It's not really supposed to happen. So that's why sometimes interesting characters reach out to me. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, a wave 1, wave A. This is an A, B, C correction, wave 2, wave B. I think a wave 3, wave C can occur. Yes, so from this low, I'm actually long backed. I bought an interesting position before the split, and with reverse split, I'm really just right where I was in that I entered the position. So I'm pretty in the money on BTBT, way in the money in BITO, Coinbase, one of the best investments ever. Really, MicroStrategy, the MSTY with those dividends, I don't think that one's going to take too long to pay for itself, because I don't think Bitcoin's going to have the big crash until it hits. We'll get into Bitcoin later. But anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, wave A, ABC, wave 2, wave B. I like 12.85. Is this invalidation? It's wide, but this is one of the most volatile tickers probably in the market. This actually might be. It's got to be up there with one of the most volatile tickers in the market. So the length of wave 1, place at the wave 2 low. Backed could go up to 33. I mean, that sounds crazy, but that's actually the minimum wave 3 target. Before a shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 higher. And a lot of people think, Bitcoin's up at the all-time highs, back to be in the 40s for that wave 5 target. I'm not going to go higher than that, but 33 to 40 for backed, another one, possibly doubling. I mean, and this isn't something that I'm saying more than doubling. This isn't something that I'm saying for shock value. This is for, this impacts numerous tickers across multiple accounts. That I'm in, and even at a certain point when Bitcoin and some of these cryptocurrencies really start running away, I am going to start having to think about actually getting on the blockchain and the cold storage and all that stuff. My hope, hope isn't a strategy, is that during this kind of mania phase, that's all going to become a lot more accessible. We'll see. I'll probably just have to ask ChatGPT. Wave 1, wave 2 above 12.85. I think backed is going to go back all the way and hit a home run. So that's going to be interesting. Bitcoin right here. I don't really need to explain to you guys how much I've slaughtered Bitcoin and BITO. Really good position. Really, big gains going, up this rally, saying that this was going to be, this correction was eventually going to be bought, and I saw the unusual options activity. They bought long gamma positions, and then when it went down, they had deep in the money puts to buy those positions against. I said that this was probably going to be the bottom, and that I was loading BITO, and that ended up being the case. Right here, I not only updated Bitcoin and Coinbase. I told you guys why I was buying Coinbase, why I was buying CONY. Coinbase, CONY has already paid for itself. Coinbase, the commons were up 240%. My Bitcoin position, I don't even know, it's up like 250, 300%, but I've also got a bunch of dividends from BITO because it's selling front month futures. Anyway, the long-term analysis of Bitcoin, I mean, might as well, right? I don't want you guys to forget the broader count. I think this is wave 1 and wave 2. One. Don't focus too much on this degree being blue here. 3. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. 1, 2, highest high, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5 ends with Momo. Laughing faces about Elliott wave when that's being pointed out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then what's this? 5 waves up, 3 waves back. Bitcoin it truncated, and I talked about how Bitcoin's truncated wave C was going to go down in history as one of the most evil truncated wave C's ever. What's that mean? It means wave C doesn't reach the length of wave A. Yes, it doesn't go all the way. They do that for their very, very, very favorite instruments. They're going to truncate that wave C right there. But guess what? The smart Elliott wave theorists like me were pointing out that Ethereum had already hit that equal X target right at the exact same time Sam Bankman-Fried gets arrested. I pointed that out. Oh, pup, you're crazy. Well, You can call me crazy, but you can't call me broke, and you can't call me employed. So that's fun. So in the broader context of Bitcoin, so we're not in the crypto debag phase. All right, we're not. I'm trying to tell you guys we're not in the crypto debag phase yet. We're gonna get there. It's going to annoy you. It's going to annoy me. People are gonna literally try to indoctrinate you into the Bitcoin religious cult. You know, Michael Saylor is gonna tell you to mortgage your house and buy it. But at least he puts his money where his mouth is, in a way. Anyway, wave 1 and wave 2 from this low. So this big cycle. Laser eyes, man. If you don't see laser, they're coming back. I saw like one laser eyes post at this top. No. Like, I know this sounds wild, and I don't mean to get like woo woo. This is all extremely mathematical, but your buddy's going to come up to you, and I'm not talking about your buddy who's like your finance bro or ever talks somebody who has never talked to you about the stock market ever. You've just briefly mentioned somehow that you're involved with this. They're going to tell you that they have bought Bitcoin probably on like Squarecast or something. So message me when that happens. I think that happened to me like right here. Someone told me that, like right here. They made a little bit of money. It wasn't a horrible buy. Anyway, that guy's grandma, by the way, very fun fact. One of the best investors I've probably ever met, retail investors, is this guy's grandma. She was in this JP Morgan thing. It's so funny. JP Morgan is always talking about don't. They were always, Jamie Dimon vocally, publicly was very anti-Bitcoin for a very long time. But during that time, this guy's grandma was actually a JP Morgan client. And she was investing $100 a month through Bitcoin the entire time. And if she kept averaging in, oh man, she's going to be rich. Anyway, good for you, Grandma. I think this is a large black wave 3 in progress. There'd be a black wave 4 correction and a black wave 5 higher. Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black waves would complete this blue wave 3. In the broader context, it might be a little tricky to grasp. That's why we're going to grasp. So that's why we're going to get into the more, and that's why I have focused on these shorter term counts. And this is also why, with all these consolidation periods that could take place in the long term, I love being able to collect this massive premium. I'll stay up. But look at the implied volatility for Bitcoin compared to, all of the other option premium collecting vehicles. If there was ever a 0 DTE Bitcoin option ETF, that would probably yield like 400 to 500%. Seriously. But there's no 0 DTE options on BITO yet. So this is a wave 1 and a wave 2. I believe a large wave 3 is in progress. And I pointed out the fact this is wave 1, wave 2. And look at this RSI right here. Wave 3 makes the highest high on the RSI. Wave 4 correction at the 50% to 38.2% retracement. That was the invalidation. It's still the invalidation. 56,126. I think that's this. Yeah, 56,126 is the invalidation. And from this low, we're going to get a little cheeky. Yeah, I know you guys like this short-term crap, but it's actually pretty important right now for my analysis. I think this is a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves impulse. $71, $78. Very similar with Ethereum. I've talked about Ethereum a lot, and I posted about it recently, so it shouldn't be too hard to see. I think from this low, the invalidation is 56,668 from this low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this short-term count. It's not too far from 56,126 for all intents and purposes. I think this is wave 1. Wave 2. Bitcoin went A, B, C, a little past the 161.8% extension for this uber volatile ticker. And this is why I thought it was so important to include that correlation evidence with some of these Bitcoin mining stocks. If we look at the big picture, Bitcoin's had this huge rally. What I could see is Bitcoin rallying, and maybe Bitcoin's just going to go to Jupiter. That's always a possibility. What I could also see is Bitcoin rallying and doing it at a much slower pace than these stocks. So, oh man, I haven't done Marathon Patent Group yet. That's not good. So we'll get into Bitcoin real quick, this short-term count. I'll get the extensions out. If Bitcoin holds that 56,668 low, the wave 3 target from this 1, 2, 3 can take Bitcoin up to 78,200. Okay, so that's just going to be my Bitcoin analysis for this video. I want to get into Marathon Patent Group from this low. Okay, now let's just get into quant world for a little bit. 0% IV rank, and it's been in the top 20 options volume for a bit, and they've been buying strangles on it. What's that mean? Options are the cheapest they've ever been. 0% IV rank and 0% IV percentile for the past 52 weeks. That means that all else being equal, selling strangles, short strangles on Marathon Patent Group is the least profitable it's ever been. And buying strangles, buying a long call and a long put is the cheapest it's ever been. Now, that doesn't mean it's a good idea to do that, but for large institutions, they do that. And they're quite aware of this, and you can see them buying the strangles on the screens that I've mentioned and go over thoroughly. So 0% IV rank, cheap options. And then what's this other thing that a lot of these gurus get right, but they don't have the Greeks behind it, and they're not really doing, they swear off knowledge of options even if they don't trade options themselves. Look at this very tight consolidation period. I'm not trying to draw like the perfect triangle or anything, but this is a really tight range for 3-4 weeks. And we're seeing really tight candles on Marathon Patent Group. I think a good invalidation is 15.63. We're getting a little further from the real invalidation, which is 14.18. So I moved it up to 15.63. I think this low of 14.18 is too wide from 19.25, even for Mara's high beta. But let's look at this 1, 2, wave 3. I've labeled it on the RSI that's the highest high, shallow wave 4, and a wave 5 that ends with Momo. This is an A, B, C correction at the 61.8% retracement. We got TeraWolf leading the charge. Bit Digital looks like it's following, and institutions are loading up. In my opinion, they're loading up straddles and strangles on Marathon Patent Group when IV rank is 0, like there's no tomorrow. Okay, so that doesn't mean 2 plus 2 is going to equal 4. Okay, Mr. Market can always make 2 plus 2 equal 5. But I'm expecting the Marathon Patent Group is going to have volatility expansion, not just on this weekly time frame. The wave 1, wave 2, minimum wave 3 target can take Mara all the way up to the 40s if it reaches the equal legs target. Now that itself would be pretty crazy. And if we looked at Marathon Patent Group on the monthly, if it did that and it broke this RSI high of 58.48, that would also be even more confirmation that this is wave 3, wave C. This is wave, even if there was a wave 4, there would be a wave 5 to follow. So let's look at this bigger count real quick. 1, 2. Highest high on the RSI, wave 3. Wave 4. Wave 5 ends with Momo. That's 5 waves up. It could be a fun summer for the Bitcoin mining sector. But some of these stocks say, it might not be a bad idea to think about longer term than a summer fling.